So let us start with the first session for academic year 2020-21. On behalf of Adarsh College of Pharmacy, Vita, I welcome you all to the final year B Farm and wishing you very bright and successful career ahead. Before starting the session, as the very first slide I have shown here, that is the introduction to NDDS, that is the novel drug delivery system. The term novel stands for the new. Drug is a API and delivery system, that is the novel drug delivery system. So what is the novel drug delivery system? It refers to the formulation systems and technologies for transporting drug in the body as it is needed to safely achieve its desired therapeutic effect. That is known as the novel drug delivery system, that is the NDDS. So for the final year BPharm, there is one new subject, that is novel drug delivery system. As in the first year BPharm, second year BPharm, third year BPharm, you have learned the so many subjects which are related with the pharmaceutics. As in the pharmaceutics, we are formulating some conventional drug delivery systems. For example, in the first year BPharm, you have learned the pharmaceutics one as well as the dispensing pharmacy rather. In the case of pharmaceutics one, you have learned some solutions, emulsions, and liniments, lotions, ointments, and so on. In dispensing medication, you have learned some concepts, how to prepare mixtures, solutions, elixirs, and so on. In the second year BPharm, you have learned some physicochemical properties of the drug and some basic concepts which are required to design the formulations, like in the subject physical pharmacy, like the rheology, micromeritics, chemical kinetics, stability of the formulation, and so on in a PP1 and PP2. In the third year BPharm, there is one major subject, that is the industrial pharmacy, and in this subject you have learned the tablets, capsules, parenterals, semi-solid dosage forms, and the liquid dosage form. Along with the pharmaceutical engineering, I think so. So now you are aware about, or you can formulate the any uh, conventional drug delivery. Yes, am I right? So you are now, it is possible for you to formulate the conventional drug delivery system because you have the basic knowledge of the all traditional formulations, isn't it? As you know that dosage forms are divided into the solid, liquid, then semi-solid. So in the case of solid, like a tablets, capsule. In the case of liquid, for example, emulsions, suspensions, solutions, mixtures, elixirs, lotions. In the case of semi-solid, there are the few formulations like gels, creams, and so on. But all these uh, conventional formulations are having certain drawbacks, and always it is not feasible to use for optimization of patient therapy. So along with this, all these traditional drug delivery systems or the conventional formulation, simultaneously you have learned the medicinal chemistry of drugs. Then you have seen the various analytical tools. Furthermore, you have gone through the various aspects of the pharmacology of the drug along with the biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics. It is an amalgamation of the pharmaceutics and pharmacology so that it is possible to understand the various physicochemical properties of the drug, then the patient related property factors which are related to the optimization of therapy. So finally ultimate goal is to improve the therapeutic efficacy of the drug. So in as I have said that the always it is not possible to get the benefits of the conventional drug delivery system. So certainly we have to suppose to think out of box. So which are the other alternatives are available with us to design the formulation. So in view of that, in the final year B Farm, we are going to discuss, or we are going to learn, rather you are going to learn something new about the dosage forms, designing of the dosage form. Maybe in the market you have seen certain uh, inhalations, you have seen certain patches which are available, some novel depot formulations for the parenterals which are available in the market, and it is possible to mm, tailor made the formulation according to the patient need, or we can say it as a personalized medicine by using the concepts of novel drug delivery systems. So these are the technologies, these are the systems, these are the formulations, novel systems or novel technologies for transporting the drug in the body as it needed to safely achieve its desired therapeutic effect. So our ultimate aim is to improve the therapeutic outcome by designing certain novel systems, novel technologies, or novel formulations. So, in order to improve the therapeutic outcome of the drug, so the patient is going to be benefited. So, this is the background about the term no NDDS, that is the novel drug delivery system. Great. So moving towards the very first slide, that is the learning objectives. So as I have said, the NDDS, it is the novel drug delivery system. So before starting with the actual content or actual chapters or of actual topics, uh, we should know, you should know about the actual what actually we are going to learn in this subject. So I have set certain objectives for this first lecture, that is you will be able to understand the scope of novel drug delivery system, you will be able to discuss objectives of NDDS, you will be able to explore the course content, and you will be able to search the various reference books which are required to learn the concepts of the NDDS. So our ultimate aim is you should able to design, you should able to formulate, you should able to evaluate certain novel drug delivery systems, isn't it? That is our main goal, main aim behind this subject. So learning objectives for today's session is to understand the scope of the novel drug delivery system, to discuss the objectives of novel drug delivery system, to explore the course content, and search various references reference books. So uh, uh, after today's session you have to suppose to search google out the term novel drug delivery system, so you will get so many pages. Just open any one page from the Google and see what is given under the NDDS. At least you will find the definition of novel drug delivery system, certain pictures, certain diagrams, classification, types, evaluation parameters, and so on. So this is the these are the learning objectives which I have set for the today's session. So moving towards the scope of the very first point, that is the scope of the subject. So this subject is designed to impart the basic knowledge on the area of novel drug delivery system. So this subject is going to give you idea about it is designed to impart the basic knowledge on the on the area of novel drug delivery system, isn't it? So you will get certain idea about the novel drug delivery system, and it is possible for you to to design, formulate, and evaluate the novel drug delivery system, isn't it? So we are just see the figure which I have shown the on the slide, just nearby the statement, that is that this subject is designed to impart basic knowledge on the area of novel drug delivery system. There are certain modes of drug deliveries I have shown over here, and it's a certain parenteral routes I have shown, that is injectables like intravenous, subcutaneous, intramuscular. So all these modes are related with the parenteral administration of drug, and it is possible to design and develop certain novel drug delivery systems for the intramuscular, subcutaneous, or intravenous route. Say for example, nano preparations. It is possible to give these nano preparations for the nano suspensions, rather nano emulsions. It is possible to give by using these routes, that is the intravenous, subcutaneous, or intramuscular route. Take another example, that is the buccal drug delivery system. Yes, it is possible to use the buccal drug delivery systems to deliver certain deliver the drugs by using the concept of novel drug delivery system by designing the novel patch, or by designing sustain or control release tablets for the buccal drug delivery system. Then moving towards the intrauterine drug delivery system. Yes, traditionally there are few formulations which are available in the market, but say take an example of the uh, progesterone inserts which are available for intrauterine drug delivery, and it is going to deliver the content for minimum 1 to 2 hours, sorry, minimum 1 to 2 years. So this is the it becomes very convenient, and there is no need to take the daily medicines for the in the case of certain situations. Then moving towards the rectal drug delivery systems. Yes, it is a one of the drug delivery system. No doubt, it is not that much convenient to use, but still, uh, it is option to the parenteral drug delivery system. When there are certain situations in which it is not at all possible to use the parenteral drug delivery systems in the patient. Say, for example, uh, in the epilepsy, when there are the seizures, it is not possible to give the drug by oral or parenteral route of administration, and in these cases cases we have to suppose to use the rectal drug delivery systems to deliver the drug, to deliver the formulations, so to deliver the drug, so as to we will get the clinical benefits. Then the vaginal drug delivery systems, so it is related with the certain diseases related with the specific track, and it is possible to prepare the mycoadhesive tablets. It is possible to prepare the pills. It is possible to prepare the hydrogels, which can deliver the drug for longer period of time, or we can tailor made the drug release profile, and it is possible to get the control release or sustained release of the formulation. So as I'm using the words the sustained release or control release or conventional release. So you should, as already you have performed the dissolution study under in the practicals of the industrial pharmacy, so maybe you are aware about the basic profile, how we are getting the release profile for specific drug. For example, paracetamol conventional tablets you have performed in the laboratory, and there is a sharp exponential rise when we are plotting the graph of a percent drug release versus time. Initially there is a rapid rise up to 30 up to 30 minutes we will get at least 80% of drug release. That is a conventional type of the drug release, isn't it? Afterwards we will see the how we are getting the drug release for the sustained release or the control release of formulations. Moving towards the transdermal formulations, yes, generally for the topical route we are using the ointments, gels, creams, liniments, lotions. So these are the conventional formulations. Is it possible to prepare the some novel formulations which are being applied onto the skin? Yes, it's very true. It is possible. How then? By preparing certain transdermal patches. For example, diclofenac transdermal patch, it is available in the market. Fentanyl patch, it is available in the market. So it is going to deliver the drug via skin into the systemic circulation, and we will get the clinical benefits. Actually, these transdermal patches are designed to deliver the drug into the systemic circulation. So the skin is the main barrier, or not a skin, rather it's a stratum corneum which affects the entry of drug into the systemic circulation. So there is a need to consider the various factors, various parameters before designing the novel transdermal drug delivery systems. While considering the oral route of administration, yes, it's a, as we know that, or you have seen the various types of the tablets, then the capsules, then the solutions which are available in the market, and the frequency of administration is very high when we are using the all these conventional preparations, and it becomes very hectic to manage the daily doses of the for the oral route of administration. So it is possible to minimize the frequency of administration by formulating certain novel drug delivery systems. Moving towards the nasal drug delivery system. The example of oral drug delivery system, take example of Overon ESR is available in the market. Then aceclofenac ESR CR preparations are available in the market. So automatically dosing frequency is going to be reduced, and patient compliance is going to be increased, isn't it? So moving towards the nasal drug delivery system, yes, it is having a limited use, but still then it is possible to use, or it is possible to target the brain by using nasal route of administration. Alternatively, it is possible to target the respiratory tract also by preparing certain inhalation preparations which is having very small particle size, and it gets inhaled into the respiratory tract and specifically target the specific regions of the respiratory tract. So this is about the, no doubt there are certain factors are there which we have to consider while designing the novel drug delivery system. Certain traditional formulations which are available for the nasal decongestions like solutions in the market, and now we are planning to design and formulate certain novel formulations for the nasal drug delivery systems, like thermoreversible gels are there which are available in the market, then the certain gel formulations, then certain nano suspensions for the nasal route, then the powder formulations, and so on. Moving towards the ocular drug delivery systems, yes, it's a very challenging to deliver the drug into the eye, because almost whatever the remaining routes are there, it's very easy to design the uh, drug delivery system, to optimize the drug delivery system, and it is possible to conduct the clinical trials and so on. But but whenever we are thinking about the ocular drug delivery system, it it becomes challenging to formulate the ophthalmic preparations. Presently, ophthalmic viscous solutions which are available in the market, and it is going to deliver the drug for very short period of time because of blinking, then the tear flow, and so many other. Also, the barrier is a one barrier function is also there, which we have to supposed to consider while designing the ocular drug delivery systems. You will find certain novel drug delivery systems for ophthalmic route like ocuserts, then the contact lenses, then the certain gels which are available in the market. So at the end of this whole subject, you will able to formulate, you will able to you will able to design, you will able to formulate, you will able to evaluate any of the novel drug delivery systems which are related to all these routes of administration. So this is the scope of this subject. So at the end, the subject is designed to impart basic knowledge on the area of novel drug delivery systems so that you can design, you can formulate, you can evaluate the various novel drug delivery systems. So this is a sorry. So this is about the scope of the novel drug delivery systems. So moving towards the learning objectives of the subject. So previously we have seen the learning objectives of the today's session, and we have finished the scope part. Now let us talk on the let us think what are the objectives which are set by the PCI for this subject. So upon completion of the course, student shall be able to understand various approaches for development of novel drug delivery system. So what are the different approaches? Once you can understand all these approaches by your own, it is possible to design and formulate the various drug delivery systems. For example, take example of controlled drug delivery systems, which are there are many more approaches are there, but the two important approaches like diffusion control systems and dissolution control systems, isn't it? Or you can say the matrix approach is also there, and matrix system or reservoir system. So these are the approaches which are available with us to design the control release formulation. Similarly, there are other approaches are also available to design the formulations for ophthalmic drug delivery, rectal drug delivery, oral drug delivery, parenteral drug delivery, transdermal drug delivery, and so on. So you at the end of the upon completion of this whole subject or course, you will be able to understand various approaches for development of novel drug delivery systems. You will able to understand the criteria for the selection of drugs and polymers for the development of novel drug delivery systems, their formulations and evaluation. The second course objective, that is to understand the criteria for selection of drug. No doubt we have the approaches now, okay, we have the technology, but how to select the drug? Say for example hypertension, there are so many drugs are available with us, and no doubt when these drugs are given by oral route of administration, few of them they are showing the first pass effect. For example, propranolol hydrochloride almost 90% gets metabolized or cleared by the liver, as already we have seen in the third year B Pharm in the subject biopharmaceutics. So we have to suppose to utilize all the information whatever you have learned in the first year, second year and third year from medicinal chemistry, pharmacology, physical pharmacy, and the pharmaceutics along with the pharmaceutical engineering. And you have, by considering all these aspects, it is possible to select the drug for specific drug delivery system. Suppose we want to design and formulate transdermal drug delivery for the hypertension. How to select the drug? We should think out of box. If the drug is given by the oral route of administration and it is having the so many drawbacks, so many limitations are there to reach into the systemic circulation, basically such a drug should be selected, isn't it? This is just an example. That is, if the drug is having a first pass metabolism, no doubt, if it is having a short half life, it is having a high partition coefficient, it is possible to use for the transdermal drug delivery system. It is possible to formulate it into the patches, for example, propranolol hydrochloride. Similarly, in the market, there are the patches of fentanyl, it is available in the market. Patches of codeine, it is also available in the market. So it is going to deliver the drug for 3 to 6 days. 3 to 6 days. So automatically the patient compliance gets improved. So we are talking about the selection of drug. It's a very important thing. You should have the sufficient knowledge about the physicochemical properties of the drug. You should have the sufficient knowledge about the technology. You should have the sufficient knowledge about the system. You should have the sufficient knowledge about the formulation aspects. Then and then only it is possible to design and formulate the novel drug delivery system. Then moving towards the very important thing, that is the polymers in for the development of novel drug delivery systems. Yes, polymers plays the very important role in the designing of the various drug delivery systems. As conventionally we are using the starch, we are using the microcrystalline cellulose, we are using the low viscosity grade sodium alginate to prepare the suspension, we are using the low viscosity grade HPMC, methyl cellulose. There are so many cellulose derivatives which are available in the market, along with the synthetic as well as semi-synthetic polymers. So how to select all these polymers? Again, we have to suppose to think about the physicochemical properties of the polymers, and that will help us to select the specific polymer for the specific drug delivery system. For example, if we want to prepare matrix type of formulation, generally we are using for oral route of administration matrix technology, we are using the hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose as a one of the matrix former for the formulation of the any controlled release or sustained release formulation. It is so HPMC, it is going to act, it is having the HPMC, it is a good film former, it is a good gelling agent, it is good matrix former. Then also it is having a capacity to retard the drug release for the water soluble drugs as well as the water insoluble drugs. So these are the things which are required to or which needs to be considered or understand, that is the selection of drugs and selection of polymers for development of novel drug delivery systems, their formulations and evaluations. So at the end we are going to select you are going to understand various approaches for development of novel drug delivery system. You are going to understand the criteria for selection of drugs and polymers for development of novel drug delivery system, their formulations and evaluation. So once very first step, that is select the approach, second step select the drug, select the polymer, then prepare the formulation and finally evaluate it, isn't it? So all these are the objectives which are set for this specific subject, that is the novel drug delivery system. So let us move towards the yes, so we are talking about the course content, that is the very first unit. It comprises the chapter that is the related with controlled drug delivery system. Controlled drug delivery system, the short form which we are using always CDDS, controlled drug delivery system. Itself name, that is controlled, means we are regulating the drug release, isn't it? At a predetermined rate, the drug is going to be released from the formulation. So in simply, that is known as the controlled drug delivery system. That is formulation. It is having a capacity to regulate the drug release by zero order release process. So with respect to time, the same amount of drug gets released from the formulation, isn't it? It's like a intravenous infusion system, which we have learned in the third year B Farm. So in this topic, we are going to learn certain introductory aspects, then certain terminologies which are synonymously used related with the controlled drug delivery system. Sometimes the term sustained release is also used, sometimes controlled release is also used, sometimes delayed release, entry coated, sometimes modified release, sometimes pulsatile release, sometimes, and there are so many terms which are available in the market. And so we will understand the all these definition of all these terms and terminologies. Then we will see the rationale to design and develop controlled drug delivery system. जे बेसिकली आपल्याला हे कंट्रोल ड्रग डिलिव्हरी सिस्टीम का बनवायचे, काय कारण आहे, त्याचा काय फायदा आहे, त्याचे काय तोटे आहेत, व्हॉट आर द ऍडव्हान्टेजेस, डिसऍडव्हान्टेजेस ऑफ all these controlled drug delivery systems with respect to conventional drug delivery systems, isn't it? Then we will move towards the selection of drug candidates, how to select the drug for the controlled drug delivery system. Then various approaches which are available to control release formulations based on diffusion control systems, dissolution control systems, and ion exchange principle. There are so many principles which are available, so many approaches are available with us, but we are going to discuss only the diffusion control systems, we are going to discuss only the dissolution, diffusion, dissolution, and ion exchange principles which are required to design and formulate controlled drug delivery systems. Moving towards the next, that is the yes, it is very important. That is the physicochemical and biological properties of drug relevant to controlled drug release formulation. As as before formulating, before evaluation, there is a need to understand all these definitions rationally, advantages, disadvantages, then how to select drug, how to there is a need to consider the physicochemical and biological properties of the drug which are relevant to control release. Take example of, as I already we have discussed the example of the propranolol. Yes, propranolol hydrochloride, it is the antihypertensive drug, and as I have mentioned that it is showing the high extraction ratio, isn't it? When it is given by oral route of administration through hepatic portal vein, drug reaches to liver metabolizes the drug, and only 10% of propranolol hydrochloride is available into the systemic circulation. So when when we are using the conventional drug delivery, the patient should take the medicine twice or thrice a day. But if we have formulated certain novel drug delivery systems, it is possible to avoid the or it is possible to minimize the frequency of administration, isn't it? The term controlled drug delivery systems, it is related to all the routes of administration. It is not at all concerned with the oral, isn't it? We can formulate the oral formulations, no doubt. We can formulate the topical for skin, ophthalmic, rectal, and so on. So it's a broad term which is to be considered. So in the case of propranolol hydrochloride, it is possible to deliver it if it is having the sufficient partition coefficient. It is possible to prepare the patch, transdermal patch, and there is no need to take the medicines for 2 to 3 days, isn't it? So this is the example. So we should understand you should understand the how to use the information related with the physicochemical properties of the drug along with its biological properties, its effects, side effects, drug interaction, and so on, for designing of the control release formulation. So we are going to deal, or we are going to discuss in the first chapter, that is introduction, then terminologies, definitions, then rationally behind designing of controlled drug delivery system, then the advantages, disadvantages, selection of drug candidates, then the approaches to design controlled release formulations based on diffusion, dissolution, and ion exchange principles, along with physicochemical and biological properties of drug relevant to controlled release formulation. So here I have also shown the various approaches or classification of the oral controlled drug delivery system as an example. So in the case of oral controlled drug delivery systems, it is possible to prepare diffusion control systems, it is possible to prepare dissolution control system, it is possible to prepare the diffusion and dissolution control system. Diffusion control systems furthermore divided into the reservoir devices and matrix devices, while the dissolution control systems are divided into the matrix dissolution control systems and encapsulation dissolution control systems. Okay, so this is about the unit 1. Again, unit 1, controlled drug delivery system. There is a one more chapter is present in the unit 1, that is the polymers. Yes. Before considering all the designing and formulation part, one should aware about the polymers. Without polymers, it is not at all possible to prepare any of the novel drug delivery systems, isn't it? So we are going to we are going to discuss the what is mean by polymer, how they are going to be manufactured, then classification of the polymer, various properties which are to be utilized for the design and development of novel drug delivery systems, then advantages and disadvantages of the polymers, then its applications in the formulation of controlled release drug delivery system. Broadly, the polymer comprises n numbers of the monomer. Synthetically, we can say, maybe you are aware about nylon 66. It may contain certain monomers which are joined together to get the polymers. So polymers are generally classified into the synthetic polymer, semi-synthetic polymer, and natural polymer. So we have to search the polymer which is biodegradable, which is biocompatible, which is safe to the human being. These three things are very important. It should be biodegradable, it should be biocompatible, and it should be safe for the human administration. These three things are important. So always it is not possible to use the synthetic polymers. So we have to supposed to think about the semi-synthetic polymers and the natural polymers. So generally the natural polymers are gaining importance due to its biocompatibility, then the safety and biodegradability. So biodegradable polymers furthermore classified into the synthetic polymers and natural polymers. So synthetic polymers, there are so many examples I have listed over here. And in the case of natural polymers, chitosan, alginate, guar gum, starch, carrageenan, albumin, gelatin, these are the few examples of the natural polymer by which we can formulate the various novel drug delivery systems. So moving towards the next unit, that is the unit 2. So in the unit 1, we are going to discuss the controlled drug delivery system, basic introduction, approaches, and so on. Then second bit, which is related with the polymers. And in unit 2, we are going to discuss with the micro encapsulation, that is encapsulation of drug into the polymers. That is, we are going to discuss the definition, we are going to discuss advantages, disadvantages, then microspheres, microcapsules, microparticles, their method of preparations and applications, isn't it? I have shown here the figure of the Chitosan microspheres, the black one, black and white image. So you are observing certain small beads, small uh, tiny particles which are spherical in nature, in which the drug is enclosed. So there are certain technologies are there which are divided into the chemical technology and chemical methods and physical methods by which we can formulate these all micro encapsulated product. For example, in the case of chemical technology or chemical methods, in situ polymerization is there and interfacial polymerization. While in the case of physical methods, it is possible to use the spray drying technique. Maybe you have learned the concept of spray drying under the chapter drying, isn't it? Then second physical method, that is air suspension method. You are aware about the Wurster coater, which is widely used to for coating of the particles. Then pan coating, already you have learned the coating of the tablets. Then the co-extrusion, solvent extraction, spinning disk, preling, melt injection, supercritical fluid extraction, and molecular inclusion. So all these are the physical methods which are widely used to prepare all these micro encapsulated products, isn't it? So now what we will do, it's 10:50, and now the session is open to you for the discussion. So here we will stop today's session. So today we have seen the scope of the novel drug delivery system. We have seen the learning objectives for the course, and we have discussed the first two chapters, right?